A German soldier raised his Christmas tree and waddled to the center of the battlefield. But here's the strange thing. Instead of firing, the British and French troops climbed out of their trenches and cheered and applauded, attracted by the German Christmas carols. At the same time, the British suddenly played bagpipes to accompany the Germans in the center of the battlefield. At the end of the song, the German raised his Christmas tree above his head and boldly greeted the enemy. He said, "Good evening, Englishmen," to which he replied, "Good evening, Germans. We're not English, we're Scottish." It's hard to imagine that this was the battlefield of the First World War. At that moment, the German officer came up to the soldiers and ordered them to go back, because this is not an opera house, but a battlefield. He didn't want any of his soldiers to die on Christmas Eve. But before he could say a word, the British officer dropped his guard and approached the two men, the leaders of the two armies, who were supposed to be fighting each other, greeted each other. The French officer was unable to sit still. He took off his rifle and walked out of the trench. Then he greeted the German officer in the same way as the British officer. The British officer said, "I propose an armistice tonight. What do you think? One less battle won't hurt, and it's Christmas Eve." The German officer says, "Don't worry, it's just for tonight."